Hi, this is Simon Candlish and welcome to another video from Marvelous Videos. Now before we begin, be aware of dragon-sized spoilers that are coming up ahead. Therefore, stay here at your own risk or fly away. The colours of House Targaryen are essentially black and red, but when Queen Alicent wore a green gown at Rhaenyra's wedding feast, the realm knew of the divide and cracks that had come into the foundations of House Targaryen. Green was the colour of House Hightower, Alicent's paternal house. When King Viserys died, Alicent convened a secret council to install Aegon onto the Iron Throne, and this would become the Green Council. Likewise, Rhaenyra conveyed a council of hers called the Black Council, which would serve her loyally and was definitely devoted to her. Not only did Rhaenyra's council have elders, but also young children like Prince Gerardus and Lucerus. Rhaenyra's council supported her out of loyalty and remained by her side until their last breath. In this video, we will explore the Black Council and deep dive into the fates of each members. Let's Dracarys. Before we go on to our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, Queen of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men, Lady of the Seven Kingdoms. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the realm's delight, Princess of Dragonstone and the daughter of a king and mother of two more, was hailed as Queen by her Black Council. Having been named the heir to the Iron Throne by King Viserys was probably Rhaenyra's greatest fortune and misfortune. Viserys made all the noble lords swear fealty to Rhaenyra and made them swear to defend her rights as the next sovereign of the Seven Kingdoms. However, Westerosi customs were dominated by the Andal traditions, which recognized a son's right to succession over a daughter's. After the death of Aemma Arryn, the first wife of Viserys, he married Alicent Hightower, who gave him two sons in less than 4 years. It was now that Rhaenyra's claim to the Iron Throne started to weaken because Alicent and her Greens wanted to install Aegon. After the death of King Viserys, Alicent and Sir Criston Cole, her sworn shield and Rhaenyra's former lover, convened a secret council which became known as the Green Council in later years. The council kept the king's death a secret, letting his body rot for 7 straight days until all the arrangements for Aegon's coronation were made. When the news reached Rhaenyra at Dragonstone, she lost her calm and went into a black fury. She was pregnant at the time and gave birth to a stillborn daughter. Rhaenyra blamed her daughter's early death upon the Greens and swore to take back the throne. She convened a council of her own and she was coronated almost immediately using the crown of King Viserys, which had been brought to Rhaenyra by Sir Steffon Darklyn of the King's Guard in the books and Sir Eric Cargill in the show. Both Rhaenyra and her half-brother wanted the ugly Iron Chair for themselves, and it started a war between dragon riders that was hailed by historians as the Dying of Dragons, while the songs called it Dance of Dragons, which was a war that served as the beginning of the end of House Targaryen. Prince Damon Targaryen, protector of the realm. Prince Damon Targaryen was one of the most ambitious Targaryens with the least political aptitude. Yes, he was the greatest warrior and commander of his time, but you cannot deny that he was poor at understanding what was best for his house. He only looked after himself, at least as several marriages proved that. He did not marry Lady Rhea Royce for love, because he was asked to do so, and because she was the heir to a great house. Marrying Rhaenyra Valerian was again a move that ensured his descent from power slowed down. I mean, when Rhaenyra was named heir, he became third in line to become king, and when Alicent gives birth to sons, Damon got pushed further down as far as the line of succession was concerned. And as far as Rhaenyra is concerned, he married her because he wanted the power that came with it. Maybe he felt for his young niece, but I believe it was the least contributing factor. Having said that, he became a dragon rider early in life and was knighted at the age of 16. The old King Jaehaerys gave him Dark Sister, and Damon put it to good use throughout his life. But one thing that I really appreciate about Damon is that he always fought for his family, with the exception of Lady Rhea Royce, who showed him no love. In the show, Damon does not want to return to Westeros because he knows his family would be safer otherwise. But Rhaenyra Valerian committed suicide by dragonfire, and Damon was not really left with a choice. After he married Rhaenyra, he dedicated his sword and life to her and their children, even those who were fathered by Rhaenyra Valerian or maybe Harwin Strong. When Lucerus is killed by Aemon Targaryen, he seeks revenge and goes on to hire Blood and Cheese, who end up committing the most horrific crime in the history of Dance of Dragons. I believe the only thing that comes close to this event is the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. To sum up, Damon is a sharp and able warrior with a strong will and dedication to family, but not the best of humans. Lord Corliss Valerian, Lord of the Tides, Master of Driftmark, and Hand of the Queen. Lord Corliss was a proud man. He was equal parts of brilliant, relentless, adventurous, and ambitious. Despite achieving many great things in life, Lord Corliss was never content. Named after Sir Corliss Valerian I, who was the first Lord Commander of the King's Guard, Lord Corliss went on a voyage with an uncle at the age of 6. He became a captain himself a few years later and sailed across the world. He later built himself a ship named the Sea Snake, which gave him his nickname. Even as a young man, Corliss Valerian had sailed to every nook and corner of the world, from Pentos to Lannisport to Lys to Eastwatch by the Sea. He married Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was, and found himself a seat at the small council as Master of Ships. Corliss was outraged when King Viserys rejected marrying Princess Rhaena Valerian. Later, he joined hands with Prince Damon to fight and defeat the Crab Feeder. Nevertheless, Corliss and Viserys became friends again after Rhaenyra chose to marry Sir Laenor Velaryon, and later Laena married Damon. However, both of Corliss's children died before their time, and he was left without an heir. He named Lucerus Velaryon his heir, but even he died at the hands of Aemond and his dragon. Corliss then legitimized a bastard named Adam and named him heir to Driftmark. Corliss was a staunch supporter of Rhaenyra Targaryen and his daughter-in-law, and that's why he was named Hand of the Queen. However, the Sea Snake switched his allegiance sometime after Rhaenyra had been betrayed by Hugh Hammer and Ulf White, 2 dragon seeds, and she assumed that even Adam Velaryon was a traitor. She ordered his death, but Corliss would not have another heir taken from him, and he alerted Adam just in time. Corliss had to pay the price. After the Dance of the Dragons was done, King Aegon III pardoned Corliss. Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was. Rhaenys Targaryen was a fierce and proud lady who did not know despair easily. Being the Lady of Driftmark, Rhaenys was as good a dragon rider as she was a strategist. When the old King Jaehaerys was left without a definite heir, a great council was convened to resolve the matter. According to the book, the claims of Rhaenys and her daughter Laena were discredited on account of their gender. Rhaenys and Corliss then tried to push the lords to vote for her son Laena, but he lost and Viserys was chosen as heir. On several occasions, Rhaenys felt that the Targaryens had insulted her, but that changed for a while when Rhaenyra married Laenor. However, in the show, Rhaenys believes that Rhaenyra had a hand in the death of Laenor. It would truly be interesting to see if Laenor returned to the show, because unlike the book, he's still alive and living with his patron. The 9th episode of the show had an explosive ending as Rhaenys broke through the dragon pit on her dragon, Meleys, and almost roasted the Green Council, including the young King Aegon II. But she did not kill him because doing so would have resulted in regicide. Rhaenys would prove to be the very crucial player in Dance of the Dragon, and I hope that the creators remain grounded in the source material while depicting the battle at the Rook's Rest, in which Rhaenys and Meleys would fight Aemond on Vhagar and Aegon on Sunfire. The battle was an epic one and became a major turning point in the Civil War. Jaehaerys Velaryon. When the Dance of the Dragon began, Jaehaerys was with his mother and stepfather in Dragonstone, learning what it was to be king. However, the news of King Viserys' death brought calamity and the stranger's long shadow upon House Targaryen. The Black Council was convened after Rhaenyra's coronation, and she was looking for allies before she went into battle. Although she had Baratheon and Arryn blood in her, she was not sure if those houses would still fight for her and respect the oath that they had taken at the Great Council summoned by Viserys. It was decided that the houses would be reminded of their oaths and also the cost of breaking those oaths. Rhaenyra wanted to send ravens to Boris Baratheon and Jane Arryn, but Jaehaerys suggested that he and Lucerus should be the messengers because they would reach faster on dragonbacks than ravens. Furthermore, the young princes would be more convincing than birds, and it was decided that Jaehaerys would go first to Jane Arryn and then Cregan Stark, who was Jaehaerys' age. Jaehaerys Valerian was the firstborn son of Rhaenyra and Laenor. The boy was a charm since the beginning, and it was clearly the most responsible among his brothers and the Green children. Aemond was a brute, filled with revenge and harmful ambitions, while Aegon was anything but kindly. On the other hand, Lucerus was still quite young, and much could not be expected of him. However, Prince Jaehaerys was different from all, a young man who knew his responsibilities. Like everyone with Targaryen blood, Jaehaerys was also quick to lose his temper, but then he gained his calm almost immediately. Lucerus Velaryon. As I mentioned in the previous entry, Lucerus was present with his brother at the Black Council held by Rhaenyra. Lucerus was sent to Boris Baratheon at Storm's End, where he was to deliver Rhaenyra's message. Boris was a proud man, and Rhaenyra had hoped that he would receive a warm welcome because it was the prince himself and his dragon, but that was far from true. There was none to receive the young prince. Lucerus' trip was supposed to be shorter and safer as compared to Jaehaerys, who was flying to Eyrie and the north. However, when Lucerus entered the hall, he saw that Aemond was already presently there. Lucerus knew what it meant. Aemond asked Lucerus to pluck one of his own eyes, but when that did not come to pass, he charged at Lucerus, only to be stopped by Boris, who did not want to kill an envoy under his roof. Boris asked his men to immediately escort Lucerus to his dragon, and the trembling child left Storm's End in fear. Aemond followed him on Vhagar, a dragon that was 5 times as large as Arrax, Lucerus' dragon. As was expected, Lucerus was killed by Vhagar. The show tells us that Aemond did not want Lucerus to die because that meant drawing first blood. In fact, he lost control of Vhagar, who was acting on her own accord. Lucerus' death was formal beginning of the war that came to be known as the Dance of the Dragons, or the Dying of the Dragons, with Arrax and Lucerus being the first casualty. It was no longer a subject of houses and oaths and diplomacy, but a full-fledged war of fire and blood. When Aemond Targaryen returned to King's Landing, no one but Aegon was happy about his deeds. Queen Alicent cried out for mother's mercy as she knew the heavy toll her family would have to pay for Lucerus' death. Even the Hand of the King was utterly displeased. Prince Damon, Lucerus' stepfather, then contacted Mysaria and hired Blood and Cheese to commit a royal assassination. Joffrey Valerian. The youngest member of the Black Council, Joffrey Valerian, was a young lad, just 11 years old when the Dance of the Dragons began. He was eager to prove his worth to his mother and wanted to show her that he was as brave as his elder brothers, but this eagerness and thirst to prove himself got the better of him. After Rhaenyra managed to take the Iron Throne for herself, she called back Joffrey, who was away. However, Rhaenyra could not rule the 7 kingdoms for long and was forced to flee when the shepherd and his savage flock stormed the dragon pit to slay 4 dragons. When Joffrey heard of this, he requested his mother leave so that he could have his dragon, Tyraxis. However, when it was denied, Joffrey freed his mother's dragon, Syrax, and flew. But Syrax did not know this strange rider and threw him off her back. Joffrey fell to his death, leaving Aegon III as Rhaenyra's new heir. Grand Maester Gerardus. The first season's finale tells us that Otto Hightower came along with Grand Maester Orwyle to bring peace terms. However, in the book, it was Orwyle and a couple of knights who arrived at Dragonstone to deliver Rhaenyra the peace terms sent by Aegon II. She strips off her chain and gives it to Gerardus, the Maester of Dragonstone. Maester Gerardus would serve as her Grand Maester for quite a while, giving her counsel and advice whenever she needed it. However, Rhaenyra's paranoia got the better of her when he suggested that not every bastard was a traitor. In reality, when Ulf White and Hugh Hammer betrayed Rhaenyra, she believed that even Nettles and Sir Adam Valerian would do the same. Gerardus was given a long and painful death by Aegon II, whose wounded dragon, Sunfire, later ate parts of the Old Maester. Apart from these 8 figures, there were others who served on Rhaenyra's Black Council, and they were as follows: Lord Bartimos Celtigar, the Lord of Claw Isle, Lord Staunton of Rook's Rest, Lord Gorman Macy of Lord of Stonedance, Lord Bar Emmon of Sharp Point, Lord Gunther Darklin of Duskendale. Unlike Alicent's Green Council, the members of the Black Council were truly devoted to her sovereign, with the exception of Lord Corliss, but the Blacks joined her without any hidden motives. They had joined her because she was their true queen. To learn more about the Green Council, do remember to check out our videos on the same. Well, that rounds things off. So, all we can say is thank you and stay safe. Thanks, guys.